Hi guys, welcome to Code Bashers. In this video, we will be discussing the pseudocodes which are asked in capgemini. Now this is part 1 of this series. Make sure that you watch this video till the end so that you can get to know the level of the questions which are getting asked. Guys, if you haven't subscribed my YouTube channel till now, please subscribe it. And if you haven't joined my Telegram group till now, please join it. I post regular updates on different companies which are recruiting you. So guys, make sure that you do not miss those updates and are present in my Telegram group. The link is given in the description box. So guys, now let's start this video, and before starting the video, please hit the like button. Okay, so the first question is find the output of the following code snippet. So here we are given a function, and in that particular function we have passed a num as an argument. So for this question, our num value is given to be 123. So initially we will be passing 123 inside this function. Now see, now when we move inside the function, the first thing we see is a static keyword, that is static int a. So what is the meaning of static here? So it means that this particular variable will only be allocated memory once throughout the lifetime of the code. So it means that, see, once we have encountered the static int a for the first time, then the memory will be allocated to this particular a, and when you will read the further question, then you can see that it is a recursive function, that is a function calling itself. So you can see that it is a recursive function. Now again, when a function will call itself, then again this particular statement will be encountered. So then the memory to the a variable will not be allocated again, because earlier it has been already been allocated to this particular a. Now any changes throughout the program in this particular variable a will be the final changes. So this was the concept of static. I hope it is clear to you. Now let's just dry run this code to find the output. So first of all, 123 has been passed to this particular function. First we have encountered static int a. So till now the memory has not been allocated to a. So then after reading it, the memory will be allocated to a for one time. Now the initial value is 0. So initially a is 0. Now if our num is greater than 0, so num here is 123. So yes, num is greater than 0. So this if condition will run. Now inside it will be a is equivalent to a plus 1. So here now the value of this particular a will be changed to a plus 1, that is 0 plus 1 is 1. Now I have told you earlier also, that is any changes to this variable in the entire course of the code will reflect the final changes in the a variable. Okay, so now a is equivalent to a plus 1. So a is here is 1. Now we have to return this function, the value returned from this particular function. So here you can see that function 1 has been called, and the value that has been passed is num divided by 10. So earlier it was 123. Now num divided by 10. Now 123 divided by 10 has been passed to next function. So now 123 divided by 10 is 12. Now again this particular function has been called. Now here the num value has been changed from 123 to 12. Now again we encountered a static int a, but the memory will not be allocated because it has already been allocated here once. Now if our num is greater than 0, so num value is 12, 12 is greater than 0, so this if condition will run. So again a is equivalent to a plus 1. So a was earlier 1, then now it will become 1 plus 1, that is 2. Now again we are calling the recursive function, that is we are calling the function, and in this the value will be num divided by 10. So again here num was 12, so the next function will contain 12 divided by 10, that is 1 only. So again this particular function has been called. So here in this particular function, now the num value is 1. Again we encountered a static int a, but the memory will not be allocated because it has already been allocated once. Now if num is greater than 0, so num here is 1 and 1 is greater than 0. So a is equivalent to a plus 1. So a has now moved from 2 to 3. Now a is equivalent to a plus 1. Now a is equivalent to 3. Now return, again we have to call the function num divided by 10. So num divided by 10 here is 1 divided by 10 is 0. So again 0 has been called. So this is a recursive function which is going on. So again a 0 has been called. Now the num value currently is 0. Now we will check this if condition. If num is greater than 0, so you can see that no, num is not greater than 0. So therefore else condition will run. So else condition is return a. So here we will return a to the previous function. So here the value of a is 3. Now we are in the function where the value of num is 1. Now so this particular value is 1. Now this particular value is 1. Now we will be returning, sorry, 3 has been returned to previous function. Now here the num value is 1, but this entire function has returned the value 3. So again we are returning 3 to the previous function from which it was called. So again we will move to 1, we will move from 1 to 12, and again 3 value will be returned. Now again we are in at this particular line only. Now the num value is 12, and again this particular entire function with num value is equal to 12 has returned the value 3. So again this particular value will be returned. So again this particular value 3 will be returned from here. Now we are at this particular function where the num value is 123. So here the num value is 123, and before it return statement is written. So again this particular function has returned 3 value, and again we will be returning this 3 from this function to the main function, that is 3. So what value this particular function will return? The value returned will be, the output of this particular code will be 3. That is the value of A only. So this is the final output of this particular code. So now let's see the another question. Okay, so the next question is again the output question. Again we are given a function which will be returning a certain value, and again if you will see carefully, you will see that it is again a recursive function, that is a function calling itself. So now let's start the function with the value of n is equivalent to 2. So now see, currently in this function the value of 2 has been passed. So we are at value 2, that is f of 2. You can say here it is f of 2. Okay, now we will check if our n is double equivalent to 4. So n was in starting is 2, so this condition is not fulfilled, and else condition will run. So what else condition will be? Else condition will be 2 into the value returned from function n plus 1. So now what we will be doing? We will be simply calling function n plus 1. So we will be simply calling n plus 1, that is function 3 we will be calling. Now the value, now again we are at this particular function and the value of n is 3. Now again we will check that if our n is double equivalent to 4, which is not because n is 3. Now again else condition will run, and again the value returned will be 2 into function n plus 1. So n was 3, now function n plus 1, that is f of 4 will be called. So f of 4 will be called. Now see, now f of 4 has been called. Now our n value is 4. Now we'll check if our n is double equivalent to 4. So here, yes, n is double equivalent to 4. So in this case we will simply return n. So in this case what we'll do, we will simply return our value n, that is our value 4 will be returned. Now once the value has been returned, so we are back at function 3. Now we were at this particular line, that is now function 3. So function 4 has returned the value 4. Now the value returned from this particular state will be 4 into 2, that is 8. So again 4 into 2, that is 8. So 2 into f of 4. So 2 into f of 4 is 8. So function 3 will return 2 into f of 4. Now see, now we are at function 2, that is again we are at this particular line, and now the function n plus 1, that is function 3, here 2 into function 3. Function 3 has returned value 8. So now again we will be returning the value back to the main function from 2 into function of value returned from function 3. So again value returned from function 3 was 8, and again we will multiplying it with 2. So the value will be 16. Now 16 will be the value that will be returned from this entire function to the main function. So here the final output of this particular question is 16, and again it was a recursive example. So I hope guys you understood this question. Now let's proceed to the next question. Okay, so the third question is, that is we are given int j is equivalent to 41 and k is equivalent to 37. Now so initially the values are j is equivalent to 41, k is equivalent to 37. Now the next step is the value of j has been incremented by 1. So j is equivalent to j plus 1. So now 41 has been changed to 42. And in the next step our value of k has been decremented by 1. So k is equivalent to k minus 1. So 37 minus 1, that is 36. Now j is equivalent to j divided by k. Now j is 42 and k is 36. Now the value of j has been updated, that is j is equivalent to j divided by k, that is 36. Now we know that when an integer get divided by an integer, the resultant value is integer only. So 42 divided by 36 will give us 1 in our programming language. Now the value of j has been updated to 1. Now k is equivalent to k divided by j. So now see, j is 1, k is 36. Now 36 divided by k is equal to k divided by j. That is 36 divided by j, that is 1. So 36 divided by 1 is 1 only. So now the value of j and k is 36 after this particular line. Now we have to print the values of j and k. So we can see that the value of j is 1 and value of k is 36. So this is our final output. That is the value of j is equivalent to 1 and k is equivalent to 36. So this was this question. So I hope you understood it. Now the next question and the last question of this video is, that is integer a is equivalent to 984 and b is equivalent to 10. Now we have a float variable, that is c. Now c is equivalent to a divided by b. So remember, see, I have told you in earlier question also, that is when an integer gets divided by an integer, the resultant is integer only. So here a was an integer and b is also an integer. So here we do not care about the data type of c. Here a divided by b is the integer dividing the integer. So 984 divided by 10 will give us integer only. That will be, so c is equivalent to, so let's say c is equivalent to 984 divided by 10. Now integer dividing an integer will give us integer only, that is 98. So the final value of c will be 98, irrespective of the fact that c is a float type data type. So when we will print c, the value will be 98. So this is our final output of this particular question. So guys, this was it for this video. I hope you liked the video and understood the concepts. If you want more such parts, please comment down. I will be making more such parts in future videos. So I hope you liked the video. Thank you for watching it.